Hey guys, hello. Great evening, great evening. It's Monday, and I am checking in with you for another episode of Men, Your Business Monday. Today we are talking about business boundaries, okay? Establishing them, why it's important to establish them, and what boundaries are needed to protect the things that you have built. So, whether you are an entrepreneur or not, whether you're thinking becoming a business owner or not, you need to set boundaries, all right? So, this conversation is going to be strictly around how to create those boundaries, how to establish what you need in order to have successful relationships, successful outcomes from developing this boundary system, and also how to utilize it to grow your business, to make more money. That is the point and the focal point of this conversation. If you are tuning in for the first time, my name is Sky Harding and I am an international business consultant building Sky. We have serviced hundreds of entrepreneurs worldwide with starting a business, making changes to their business, filing copyrights, filing trademarks, creating business plans, creating profitability plans, creating brand strategies, perfecting their pitch, and learning how to secure their ownership in the world of entrepreneurship, okay? So if you don't own a trademark or a copyright, you don't own your business, get on my calendar today. If you're not in compliance with your business, gotta file annual renewals, gotta pay your entity taxes, sales reporting, get on my calendar today. The link is somewhere on here, or go to BuildingSky, the number 2.com. Okay? So before I jump into this topic, I am going to share this live stream out. I am on Instagram, I am on TikTok, so you'll see it going out on both platforms. Whatever one you like the most, follow me everywhere at BuildingSky, the number 2. If you want to be up to speed with what's happening and who I'm talking to and what I'm talking about, you're going to follow me, okay? So I'm going to share this out. I hope you do the same. If you've never been here before, then I don't even know what I'm going to say. I have some ideas, but I let the Lord use me in so many ways because I truthfully believe that He has given me this business and this opportunity and this vision and these goals that I have to help other entrepreneurs be successful, and more specifically, Black and brown entrepreneurs like myself, women like myself, mothers like myself, people who worked in the corporate industry for a long time like myself, who were underserved, undervalued like myself, who went through all kinds of microaggressions like myself, racism like myself, bias like myself. So I want to support people who are like me, right? And that's the reason why we're here. So I'm sharing this live stream out to those people who asked. Okay. And then we're going to jump right into this topic. All right. All right. Perfect. Okay. So, as I was saying earlier, we have to create boundaries. And in the world that we live in, everyone needs to have healthy boundaries. Why I want to talk about this today, I'm going to give you some insight into the world of entrepreneurship and the world that I live in when it comes to business. I've spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs who have spread themselves so thin, who have committed to so many things that they cannot actually deliver on. Entrepreneurs who are in financial situations and who are in mental and emotional situations because they did not set boundaries. That's it. When we go down the ladder, going through all the list of things that they have to do, or all the things that they have to accomplish, or all the things that we have to alleviate from their plate, almost all of it was in work. All of it was happening. All of it had been created and developed because what? They did not have boundaries. They said yes to too many people. They didn't say no to enough, or they said no to too many people. They were too busy to entertain discussions, conversations. They were too caught up in their lives to really dissect what they needed to learn or who they needed to hire, right? So because of that, because there were no boundaries set, things started falling apart, right? So boundaries are a good thing. We oftentimes look at boundaries as such a negative thing, as such a bad thing, like I gotta protect me from this particular person, so I have to establish boundaries. And it's looked at as like a defense mechanism. But boundaries can also be offensive, right? We need to understand that. So I've created a lot of boundaries for myself, for my clients, for my family, for my kids, so we can be proactive instead of reactive, right? Boundaries are a two-way street. It's not just about having boundaries for whenever you're going through a situation and want to remove something or someone from your life. It's also about protecting what you've built, protecting what you've had, what you have, and creating systems that are going to help you grow and evolve in what you have, right? So business boundaries are just me kind of dissecting some of the professional ways that you can establish boundaries to be more functional in your business, to make more money in your business, and to also have stronger relationships. So once I started to realize that in order for me to build a business successfully, I had to also create boundaries in my personal life and vice versa. That's when things started to change. So when I was a yes woman and I was saying yes to everybody and everything, taking every deal, taking every contract, taking every client because I wanted the money, I wasn't setting boundaries on my personal life because I was all over the place. I had no personal time. I had no time for my family, no time for my kids, no time for any of the things that I wanted to do for myself and enjoy. I was not setting boundaries. And then when I kind of threw myself and engulfed myself into my personal life and wasn't establishing times and dates and things like that to work on my business, I wasn't making any money, right? So life is about balance. And the only way to have balance, to maintain balance, to create balance in your own life is to what? Set boundaries. So I'm only here to tell you some things to encourage you and uplift you. I'm born and raised in New York. My tone could be a little heavy. My accent's a little heavy. But understand, I'm just a mama hen who want to show you what I know, teach you what I know, tell you some things to help you grow and evolve as a professional and as a business owner. That's the only reason why I'm here, okay? I get on here almost every Monday, almost every Wednesday, and almost every Friday because I really want to pour into every single person. Some of the things that I teach my clients, talk to my clients about on a one-on-one. I have over 800 clients worldwide right now. It's crazy. But it's not that crazy because most of my clients are super independent and self-sufficient. So they call me when they need me. But the reason why they are independent and self-sufficient is because I do my best to pour as much knowledge, information, love, TLC into our consultations so that they feel empowered and they can function independently in the business world, right? But we have to set boundaries. So I'm going to talk about healthy boundaries to protect what you have. The boundaries that you oftentimes create because you feel like there could be someone trying to infiltrate or someone trying to take, sabotage, distract, right? So you create boundaries because you definitely want to make sure that these elements don't get in and sabotage what you've created, sabotage what you've built, sabotage what you have. So you create these boundaries. So oftentimes the boundaries that we create in that particular aspect and dynamic is I'm not going to talk to this person. I'm not going to email this person anymore. I'm going to block them. I'm going to unfollow them on social media. I'm going to do all these different things to remove this person from my life. That's a boundary, right? And that may be necessary for certain people. Certain people don't blend with you, don't mesh with you, are not your people. And you'll learn through life that even though you might love on someone and care for them so deeply, if it's not reciprocated, you have to set boundaries for not just your business, but also for you, okay? So we often are familiar with that because we do it all day, every day. We unfollow, we block, we remove people from our lives all the time, delete their number, change our numbers. Those are things that we do to create boundaries and separate ourselves from an attack or someone who we feel, again, does not serve us, does not mean us any well, is not pouring into us, is not benefiting us, okay? But what if we created and established boundaries before that relationship and it never had to get to a place where I blocked you? It never had to get to a place where I have to unfollow you. It never had to get to a place where I stopped talking to you. What if you had healthy boundaries already established so you knew early on to avoid that person? What if? Would that be different? Yes. Would that make you feel a lot less stressed and aggravated? Yes. Could that positively impact your business? Yes. So let me explain something to you. People who are stressed, in their individual lives, in their personal lives, have a really hard time building a business. You don't really have the mental capacity to pour the love, the attention, the detail into your business when you're under a high level of stress at home. So I oftentimes have to talk to my clients and tell them how to create healthy boundaries to plan when they can do their business activities, income producing activities, their planning, their brand development, right? We have to create boundaries. We have to create a game plan for you to be able to work on the things that you want to work on that can bring money into your business, right? So understand, setting boundaries in your personal life directly impacts the business. Setting boundaries in your business directly impacts your personal life. So all of that comes together. All of that comes together. You have to create boundaries, okay? So, what if we created boundaries in the beginning and then didn't have to worry about blocking, unfollowing, muting, whatever, right? So you can create healthy boundaries that are offensive, healthy boundaries that are going to help you make smart decisions about who you choose to do business with, who you choose to hang out with, what business decisions and business moves you make. On top of that, also how you choose to handle and conduct yourself within that business. So, healthy boundaries coexist in a space, in a world where you are taking care of yourself. Because you have to know who you are to know how to create these boundaries. For every single client, I can't give every single person the same answer every time. It can't be a copy and paste solution for every single person. No, each person, based on their life, their personal experiences, their personal traumas, who they are, what they've experienced, what they've gone through, and what kind of business they have, that all plays a part in what kind of boundaries have to be set, right? So it's no copy and paste solution. So I literally sit down and talk to my clients about the ins and outs of their life. It's honestly like a little bit of therapy, just a pinch, because I need to know what really happens in your world so I can help you develop a real life game plan so you can really put time aside to work on this business, this brand that you want to build, right? We have to work on those things. We have activities that we have to do to build this thing out. So if we're not really being super realistic and super detailed about the time that you're spending and the things happening in your personal life, how can we create boundaries? How can we create a game plan? We can't. So almost all my sessions are like a little small mini therapy session because we have to talk about what's happening at home, right? I have turned clients away or prospects away because mentally they were not in a space to work on their business. They just weren't. Yeah, I finally have the money. I'm finally in a position to start this particular business, but you haven't done any kind of self-work. So now every single thing you're touching is going to fall apart. You haven't established any boundaries. You don't even know who you are. You don't know why you want to do this business. You have chaos at home. You're not going to have the time, energy, efforts that it takes to be able to pour into this thing. And you're not going to be able to keep up with the tasks that I have for you. I don't want to take your money and then there's no progress, right? If I just took everybody's money, walked away and gave no progress, who's coming back? Everybody is leaving. Everybody's walking away. Everybody's going to simply just disappear off the face of the earth, talk bad about me, drag me all over the internet, right? That's what's going to happen. If all I'm doing is taking your money and not giving you no results, what happens? So I don't put myself in a situation, because I've established boundaries, I don't put myself in a situation for that to happen, right? I see it. I have this conversation. I have this discussion. I do this deep dive. And I say, listen, you're not in a space right now where I feel like we're a good fit. This is not compatible. This is not something that's going to work. How about this? Let's put something on the calendar for 3 more months. In 3 months, I want you to try this, this, and this over the next 3 months. When that time comes, let's have a conversation again and let me see where you are. Let me see where you're at. Either they did the work or they didn't, right? 3 months comes, you answer the phone, you don't. You come to the meeting, you don't, right? You might even went to somebody else and 3 months later, you're like, damn, I started it with somebody else. I did X, Y, and Z, and now I'm still here. Because you have to be in a certain mental space and you have to understand who you are before you start business. Why? Business exposes and amplifies who you are, right? Thank you, cousin. My cousin said she loves my glasses. Thank you. Any business that you have is going to amplify and expose who you are. It's going to amplify and expose your wounds. It's going to amplify and expose your trauma. So if you don't work on those things before you become a business owner, the business is going to expose you and put all your business, your personal business, on Front Street. You have to have a certain level of work. And that's also the reason why certain businesses don't go past a certain level until the owner of that business or the person running the organization does the self work. It doesn't happen. Like, things don't start to shake for you and shift for you until you truthfully know who you are. So we have to set proactive boundaries. So again, because I don't want to have a domino effect of people coming and leaving and calling me out my name and talking bad about me, I do an assessment for our consultation, because I need to know if this is something that can even really work. I want to know if we're compatible. I want to know if you're in the mental space to be able to take on the thing that you're saying you want to create. Do you know what you're doing? Do you know why you want to do it? Do you have this idea? Do you want to do it because you want to make some money? Do you have a real mission, a real vision, a real purpose? Because if you just want the money, when the money gets funny, you're going to quit, right? You're going to quit. So you have to do it from a space of really knowing who you are, knowing why you want to be a business owner. And again, creating healthy boundaries that are going to protect what you want. So my protection method is I do my consultations with you for free for 15 minutes, kind of go down a list of what it is that I might need to discuss with you, do an evaluation on you, see where you are mentally, physically, emotionally, give you some homework to do if anything, and then come back next month, next week, next year and say, okay, or right here, right now, oh baby, you're ready to go. You're in a good space. You're ready to go. And I can tell the difference between somebody who has a gift of gab and somebody who is genuinely comfortable with who they are, where they are, and wanting to see how this can work out for them. Believing by faith that this could really be something magical and they could really touch people's lives in whatever way. Selling whatever they're selling and doing whatever they're doing. Okay? So proactive boundaries. What boundaries can you establish in your life that can help alleviate some of the things that you've experienced? So I started to see certain things as red flags that might not be typical red flags to the next person, but because I know who I am and because I know what I've experienced and because I know the things that I've been able to get over, I don't want to put myself back in those positions anymore. So as someone who's created healthy boundaries for me on a business level, I know exactly what that looks like when I'm having that first consultation with someone and seeing if they're a good fit. So I created a boundary for me. I created free consultations to see if, number one, you're ready. Number two, if we're a good fit. And number three, let you know what services, products, whatever could work for you. Or if I just can't help you, right? So 800 clients, we didn't all meet and book everything on the first session. A lot of those people took some time for us to talk, get to know each other, kind of go through the personal emotions of where are you? Are we compatible? Can this work? Right? So think about your life and think about your business and how you want it all to kind of work together and coincide with each other and how you want your business to be and how you want things to flow. What boundaries can you create to make that thing happen? So I created a system in my business to create proactive boundaries so that I don't end up in a dangerous situation on the other side where you're not getting results and you're dragging me all over the internet, right? Number 3, we have to create boundaries now out of reaction. Okay, so now we identified certain things in our personal life. We created personal boundaries. Now we're creating boundaries on the business side to protect what we have, because again, it all goes hand in hand together. Now on the flip side, we have to create boundaries that are going to help us to overcome situations, right? Or that are going to help us kind of get through a transitional period, right? So oftentimes when you're a business owner, you're always in a state of transition. And that's the reason why it's so scary, because you always have to be in motion. The minute you stop being in motion is the minute that you miss opportunities. It's always about being in motion, being in the right place at the right time, making the right relationships, making the right connections, having the right resources at your fingertips. So if you ever stop working in that business, then you know that the outcome is no fruit, right? No fruit, no productivity, no growth. So you have to keep being in motion. So when you're in entrepreneurial entrepreneurial world, when you're in the business world, you have to constantly be in motion. And that's a lot. It's a lot to constantly be in motion when you have so many other things in your life that are requiring you to be in motion, right? This is optional. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to start a business. You can get a job. You can do what we do. You can stay home and take care of your kids, or you can go and do whatever you want to go do. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. This is an option, right? So you have to be in a space where you're okay with being in constant transition for an option when the things that your life requires you to be in motion for are there, right? You have to be okay with that. And it's hard for people to kind of get to that space. So you're always in transition, you're always moving, you're always making things happen, you're always shaking in your personal life. And now you're adding one extra element into the equation that is going to be an option where you can pick and choose. Guess what? You might pick and choose not to do it. And that's what often happens. That's the reason why so many peoples have dreams sitting on their table in a folder. Every dream, every hope, every desire is on their table in a folder because it's hard to constantly be in transition. But when you're in transition, when you're in motion, that's when things happen. Okay? So, as you're doing that, you're learning, right? As you're learning things about becoming an entrepreneur, as you're learning things about being a business owner, as you're learning things about yourself, and as your trauma is creeping up through your business, and again, the business is exposing things about your personal trauma, your personal life, because it amplifies everything and exposes everything. As that's happening, you have to be able to create boundaries from the things that you're discovering. Okay, so I learned very early on in my business, I have severe ADHD. Like, my attention span is not the best, right? My attention span is not the best. I was in a space where I thought I could hear what my clients were saying during our consultations, and I could remember it. I thought I could remember it. I thought I could really remember in my mind and not have to worry about putting things in place and setting boundaries for myself because I felt like I had it like that. I learned early on I don't have it like that. And when clients are reaching out to me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times for the same thing, and I had to say, ooh, I forgot, that's when I realized I was not creating boundaries out of the information that I was learning about myself. You have ADHD, create a system, take your notes, voice record the conversations, go on Zoom, record the conversations, whatever the case may be, right? Then I realized I wasn't as organized as I thought I was. I realized I was nowhere near as organized as I thought. I was overbooking myself. I was triple booking myself. I was making plans to go out with the family and do family activities and not know when I had to be at certain places for a meeting. I was not creating systems for myself, right? So after all the time of me working and doing things in that business, I had to create boundaries, reactive boundaries to things that I learned about my business, how it moves, and myself. I had to. So what did I do? I got a website. I have a back office on a website that tells you what time you can book certain things, how long. All that stuff is already on the platform. I don't have to worry about it. It's connected to my personal calendar so that I automatically know when I have a personal appointment that my calendar for the appointments on my website is blocked off and vice versa, right? Had to create a system. Had to create a way to take notes, to record the conversation. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm not going to call everybody on the phone. Now there's Zoom. We'll do virtual meetings on Zoom. And for those really, really in-depth discussions, I can record those conversations and I can run them back if I can't take notes fast enough. There's just so much happening. What I have to do all the time throughout the course of these consultations is I have to remove all distractions. So creating boundaries. So putting my phone on Do Not Disturb, putting it on vibrate, because I know that when my ADHD kicks in, when my watch goes off, when my phone goes off, when my iPad goes off, when my computer goes off, I'm going to stop whatever's happening and look and read and see. And when I do that, guess what? I'm not paying you any attention, right? I had to really coach and train my brain to be able to multitask in the way that I thought I was multitasking in the beginning. So all the things I'm telling you as far as systems that I created and software that I purchased and things that I had to learn and teach myself and books I had to read, those were all reactive boundaries that I had to create based on the information I learned about myself, building my business out. So if you have, a business you're building, and you notice certain things are happening in your business that are not bringing money, that are causing you confusion, and you don't do nothing about it, you're not creating boundaries. Because right now, your boundary that lack of boundary is causing you to lose money. It's costing you, right? So I said, okay, creating a system based off of reaction. So we talked about, again, the self-work. Because when you become an entrepreneur or a business owner, every single thing about you is exposed. It comes out through your business. Again, that's the reason why so many entrepreneurs get to a space where they're stuck and they're stagnant until they do the self-work. Because the business is going to expose you. It's going to show people who you really are. So you have to do the self-work, okay? You create boundaries, offensive boundaries. Pretty much saying that based on where I am in my life, what I know about myself, what I know about my trauma, what I know about what I've experienced, what I know about the things that I have gone through, this is how I'm going to conduct myself in the world of business, around people, whatever, right? And now you're doing all that, you're running your business, and you find out more about yourself and the systems, and you're figuring out what works and what doesn't work. Now it's time to create defensive boundaries. So this offensive, again, preparing yourself, protecting yourself to go and do this thing, and defensive, like, okay, shoot, this happened. How can I create boundaries and systems to help me grow and evolve beyond where I am? So we oftentimes, again, look at boundaries as a protective mechanism from things that are not good for you. But you can use boundaries in a positive way to create systems for things that are good for you, to maintain the things that are good for you, to maintain the things that serve you, to maintain the things that bring money into your business or organization. Boundaries are okay. The people who lack boundaries are the people who are not successful. You have to have boundaries. There's a reason why the celebrities have a whole bunch of people running and doing things for them, and they're out of the picture. Why you can't go to their house, why you can't ring on their doorbell, why you can't call their phone, because it's boundaries. For them to be able to maintain their own individual personality and lives beyond the image you see, they have to create boundaries, right? So we oftentimes feel like, well, I want to be an open book. I want for people to see certain things about me. And they will. They definitely will. But you still have to create boundaries to keep some things to yourself. I'm on social media all the time, on my personal page and business page. And people oftentimes think that because of that, they know me. Y'all don't know me. Not like that. You see what I want you to see. You know what I want you to know. But guess what? Even with this, I have to develop and establish boundaries as an entrepreneur. What I see. Oh my God, Reggie EQ, thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you so much. Them lightning bolts are coming in. Jesus, the goal was 100. What you doing? We're at 70. Oh Lord, he's about to make us hit the goal. Thank you, appreciate you, Reggie. 75 lightning bolts on here. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you. TikTok, y'all always showing out. IG, hey Jamal, hey Reggie, hey Miss Simone, that's my cousin. Hey Jess, hey Auntie, hey Michael. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't even say hello to y'all. How rude of me. I just wanted to kind of go in there and do what I had to do. So yeah, do you get what I'm saying? Do we understand what I'm talking about when it comes to boundaries? You have to create boundaries in business. Boundaries are a good thing. Let's stop looking at boundaries as this dark cloud hanging over your head. You have to have boundaries. Boundaries is what makes money. If you know there's a certain aspect in your business you're not good at, create a boundary for yourself. Stop playing yourself. Hire somebody. If you can't hire somebody, put a system in place. That's how you create boundaries. I wanted to do it all myself. I wanted to remember things, and I wasn't making any money. I was hurting the business, and I was trying to get upset with everybody else because the business wasn't going the way I wanted it to go, but I was in my own way. So I was doing things that directly and indirectly sabotage what I wanted. And that was to make more money, to get more clients, and have a bigger impact. So I had to create boundaries from myself. Like, girl, you're not good at that. You don't like doing it. Stop playing yourself. Establish the boundary. Enroll in that system. enroll in that software, hire that person, and come back and try again, right? So business boundaries are about establishing boundaries in a way that's going to be productive to you, making more money, building your relationships, and having more. Whatever more is for you. If you want more time, create boundaries around having more time. If you want more money, create boundaries around making more money, right? That's where I'm at right now. I want to make more money. I want to meet more people. I want to impact more people. So what does that mean? I have to invest into my brand. I have to pay people to support that. I have to pay people to do things that I can no longer do because I can't service 800 people by myself without a team, right? So I'm establishing those boundaries because I want to make more money. I'm removing myself from the equation. I'm relinquishing control. I'm relinquishing the things that I said I would never let other people do. I'm letting them do it because I know for me to be able to make more money and impact more people, I have to have more time. And if I'm taking all my time to do these things, little itty bitty tasks, then I don't have the time to make more money and to be with more people. So again, set the boundaries to get the result. Don't just create boundaries out of reaction. Create offensive boundaries as well. Do a deep dive and a deep dig on who you are as an individual, who you are as a person. Again, do the self-work because your business will expose you. Whatever you have going on, whatever you got happening in your life, your business will expose you. And as your business is exposing you, now you have to create defensive boundaries. Things that have been done, things that have happened, create the boundaries to avoid it from happening again. All right. Do I have any questions here for anyone? Thank you, Reggie, so much for the gifts. I appreciate you so much. You are absolutely amazing. Any questions as far as business is concerned before I get ready to go? If you have not done so already, book a complimentary consultation with me. Let's see what we can do to build some of this stuff up. Let's see what we can do to build some boundaries and create some boundaries for you to do whatever it is you want to do in your business or your personal life. If you have a business that needs to be renewed, get on my calendar today because 9 times out of 10, you're past your deadline anyway. So every single business, no matter whether you're an LLC or a corporation or a nonprofit, has to be renewed either every year, every 2 years. That means handling compliance documentation, paying your entity taxes and filings and reports. If you have not done so already, do it now. Do it right now. Go to BuildingSky2.com, book an annual renewal consultation. It's only $100 and you can get your business back up and running in compliance and registered properly with your state. Okay? The third thing I want to talk to you guys about is Autism Speaks. So for this month, BuildingSky is donating 20% of our profits to Autism Speaks, okay? So whatever you book, whatever service you book with us, those proceeds are going to Autism Speaks. In addition to that, we're also raising money for Autism Speaks. So if you don't have any interest in the service right now, but you want to support the fundraiser, the link is in my bio for Instagram. As soon as you go on Instagram, BuildingSky2, the Autism Speaks fundraiser is right there in the bio. I think so. Yeah. Right in that bio. It should be like one of the first things you see, top of the page. Click it, support it for as little as $1. Every penny counts. Right now it's World Autism Awareness Month. So for the month of April, every April, we do this every single year. I have a very soft spot in my heart for Autism Speaks because my children are autistic. And they supported me when I had no clue what autism was. I had no idea. I never heard of it before. I was in this very dark place trying to figure out how to raise twin boys with special needs. And I've never heard of this thing. What special needs, right? I was so misinformed. I'm like, they look fine. They're okay. They're not missing any limbs. They don't have any issues. They fine. They're good. What's that? Mental illness. What is that? Right? So I had to learn so much about autism and so much about how to deal with children who function on the spectrum, and Autism Speaks really helped me. So every month, every year for April, for Autism Awareness Month, I donate to them because they poured so much into me and my family. So please donate. We only have a few more days before the month is over. I appreciate every single penny. Whoever has donated, thank you. Thank you so much. I love you and I appreciate you for every single thing that you have done to support us in our efforts to raise awareness and raise money for autism. And then the last thing is, if you haven't already filed your BOI, filed a trademark, filed a copyright for your business, get on my calendar today. So the BOI is a new piece of documentation. It was brought into effect by the Corporate Transparency Act. And the Corporate Transparency Act states that every single U.S. business owner has to file a beneficial ownership information form letting the United States Treasury and the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network know who is running and in control of your business organization. They want to know who's making the calls as far as money is concerned, who is controlling, who's making these decisions. If you don't do this form, it's very quick, very easy to do, doesn't take a long time. So do it, right? If you don't do this form on time, they are fining business owners $500 a day, up to like $10,000. And you can also face like 2 years in prison. Okay, so they're not playing. They want to know who's in charge of the business. They want to crack down on money laundering. They want to crack down on so many different things. And also, we have a whole bunch of people who have not paid business taxes. And the IRS wants to know who. Your state offices want to know who. And they want to be able to collect their money, right? So there's no avoiding this. So you need to do two things. File your annual renewals, get your business in compliance, and then file your BOI timely. What is the timeline? What is timely? I'm so glad you asked. I will tell you. If your business was created before 2024, then you have until December of 2024 to complete your form. So you do have a little bit of time. If your business was created January 2024 or later, you have 90 days from the business's approval to do this form. So as a BuildingSky client, that is a part of the build up, starting the structuring process. It's included. But if you haven't done so already and did your business on your own or elsewhere and you have no idea about this, get into it, okay? Book a BOI consultation today. I would love to support you in your renewal consultation if you want to renew your files as well. But get on my calendar, okay? Let's get you together. Let's get in compliance. Let's set healthy boundaries, offensive boundaries. Be proactive instead of reactive, okay? Don't wait until your business is getting fined or sued or shut down, dissolved, terminated because you didn't do what you're supposed to do, okay? BuildingSky, the number 2.com for every single thing that you need. And if you're not following me on everything, then do so, okay? BuildingSky, the number 2, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. We are working on some really big things that I can't wait to share with you all. We're going to be able to support so many other entrepreneurs in a million more ways, and I'm so excited about that. So keep following me because I have some big updates coming, some big news coming, and it will impact you. It will definitely make a difference in your life. So stay tuned. Don't go too far. Follow me and tune in. So that's it for me. Since you guys have no questions, I love you all to life. Have an amazing, amazing week. If this message has touched you, blessed you, brought any value into your life, share it with 3 people. That's it. Just 3. I'm not asking for a lot. I'll repost it and reshare it in my stories and on my page. So you can reshare it. Your shares, your likes, your gifts. Thank you, Reggie. Really do mean a lot to me. And I appreciate every single one of you. I do not take you for granted. And I really, truthfully love what I do and really want to help you. I really want to help you. Like, my goal is to help other entrepreneurs who look like me start a business, stay in business. I would love to close the wealth gap. I would love to establish generational wealth. I would love to start new generational goals, memories that we can pass down, right? So businesses we can pass down, leaving a legacy, right? That's what it's about. So if I don't help you with your business and I don't help you grow and evolve on your dream, then I can't meet my goals. So get on my calendar. Let's help each other, okay? BuildingSky, the number 2.com. Have an amazing night.